New graphics, new characters, new game, but it's still the same old "What happened on my universe" mode! Week 18! And as always, we start with Raw, which took place in Las Vegas, Nevada. We started with a match between Ryback and Seth Rollins continuing their feud. Now, with these two opening the 2K16ness on this universe mode, they wanted to put on a good match, and it was wide open with both men hitting those big moves, including a pedigree which didn't finish the match. Eventually, Seth Rollins would hit the buckle bomb. This would successfully keep Ryback stunned enough for Seth to hit a schoolboy superkick and hold him down for the win. More on this feud in the later weeks. Now, Jack Swagger took on Raw's debutant on the last week, Adrian Neville. Although now it's 2K16, he's now just Neville. Now, Jack Swagger opened the match with a couple of decent moves, but once Neville got into his stride, he hit the red arrow, and it was an inevitable victory for him. Divas action next, and the Divas champion Brie Bella took on All Red Everything Eva Marie in what would possibly be the worst match ever if it happened on real television. Luckily it's a computer game, and it's Falls Count Anywhere. As the fight wore on, both girls hit some shots, and both girls hit some weapon shots, but it was Brie Bella that would take the main advantage, hitting her with that running knee that she probably learned off her husband, and then the Bella Buster for the 1, 2, 3. Now, United States Champion Dean Ambrose took on Brock Lesnar after Brock Lesnar picked his victim last week. To begin with, Dean Ambrose may have regretted challenging his attacker from last week, thanks to this 3-piece powerbomb, but he would eventually get a little bit of maneuvering in, a neckbreaker, and then locking in this Texas Cloverleaf. Unfortunately for him, Brock Lesnar threw him out of Texas Cloverleaf and took him to Suplex City. After he'd had a trip to Suplex City, he then hit an F5 and put him down for a 3 count. We were missing the entrances as Daniel Bryan looked set to take on Randy Orton. Bray Wyatt made him jealous by having an entrance of his own, even though he wasn't even supposed to be there. He then went and took his place by the commentary table, but didn't say anything, because they never do. Randy Orton was in the driving seat to begin with, hitting an Olympic slam and a backdrop onto the barricade. Then Daniel Bryan took control, hit a Northern Lights, but then decided he wanted to go and talk to Bray Wyatt as to, how come you got an entrance, you bastard? Randy Orton took this as a chance to get an advantage back, brought him back in the ring, hit an RKO, and was victorious. Daniel Bryan needs to concentrate more. The next show was Main Event, which took place at San Diego, California, and it was debut-mania, 2 of them coming in this match, as Cactus Jack threw Jim Neidhart to the outside and destroyed him. It all ended up with him doing a pile drive up through the announce table, which was then hastily assembled for the next match. Back in the ring, he kneed him in the face and hit the double arm DDT to get his first win on Main Event. Bang bang indeed. Santino Marella was not making his debut, but he was taking on Farouk, who was making his debut. He was accompanied by his Nation of Domination colleague, Kama Mustafa. Now, as much as Farouk wanted it, this was not a one-sided beatdown. Santino got some shots in, surprisingly, including this arm drag. But, unfortunately for him, Farouk then hit a big slam and his huge spinebuster, which finished him off and held him down for the 3 count. With a week to go till the pay-per-view, Shawn Michaels and Chris Jericho furthered their feud by picking tag team partners for this week. Jericho picked the British Bulldog, Shawn Michaels picked someone a bit better, the Terminator. The 2 feuding parties started the match and got moves on each other, but then the Terminator came in and hit an Austrian suplex. And that was a terrible impression, but basically he beat him down. Once the normal wrestlers came back in the ring, it was back to normal and a back and forth matchup. Arnie came back in and was actually slammed a couple of times, but then he grabbed Chris Jericho's face and put him down on the floor and was victorious. Can Shawn Michaels do the same at the pay-per-view? Another debut coming up now as WWE Champion Triple H took on Bret the Hitman Hart. But, much like on Raw, Triple H was a bit shocked to find The Undertaker come down. Or at least they all got entrances in this one. The match began open but quickly swung in Triple H's favour when he hit this pile driver. He also then kneed him to the face. Bret Hart was able to get a bit of advantage back with that back suplex, and while Triple H was down, The Undertaker looked like he was going to try and take advantage. Triple H quickly went and stopped him, and The Undertaker stopped. It was quite amicable, actually. Triple H hit a pedigree, but that didn't keep Bret Hart down, who then hit a pile driver of his own, which actually beat Triple H. Must have been shocked by The Undertaker actually leaving him alone. European Champion Booker T took on Stone Cold Steve Austin in the main event. They shook hands before the match and then got to it. This match was the last chance for both men to show who was boss as they face off at the pay-per-view for the European title on the next show. And both men, well, they tried. It was very open. Booker T hitting spinebusters and belly-to-bellies, but it wasn't enough, and a Stone Cold Stunner put him down for the 3 count. Can Stone Cold do it one more time at the pay-per-view? Now the future was in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania for NXT, and what a way to start 2K16 on NXT, as Kevin Owens, the Hardcore Champion, took on Finn Balor, the NXT Champion. This match was so wide open you couldn't tell who was going to win right up until the end. Balor hitting the Sunday Bloody Sunday, but then Owens getting the advantage back, elbowing him in the face and hitting a Michinoku driver. A cannonball later, and Finn Balor was able to get the advantage back with a dropkick. He then hit the Pele and the coup de grace for the win, as the champion beats the champion. And he was right, don't go away. We had another debut. Baron Corbin took on Adam Rose, who just got his first win last week against Hideo Itami. But Baron Corbin wasn't just going to lay down and beat him down with big moves. Another shoulder breaker and Adam Rose was down again. But he took it to the outside, hit him against the announce table, then hit him with a few quick moves before finishing him with that party foul. Was it party foul? I don't know. Anyway, he won, and they carried him off in victory. Tag team action next, and the Vaudevillains of Aiden English and Simon Gotch took on Kalisto and Sin Cara, the Lucha Dragons. And it was another open one. After this double team move, Aiden English then took control, hitting a big suplex. Simon Gotch got an atomic drop, and then English got a back body drop. Unfortunately for them though, Sin Cara then got his second win. Swanton bomb. Kalisto came in with a Listo kick and then did a German suplex off the top rope. He hit Samurai del Sol, and that was all, unfortunately, for the Vaudevillains. A couple more debuts for you now. Brian fucking Pillman took on Savio Vega in a 90s rehash. He started it with a confessional and then hit a Hurricane Rana before hitting a Tornado DDT. Savio decided, wait, I better get some moves, scoring with a slam and that John Cena Dolph Ziggler rolling thingy. That wasn't enough though, as Brian Pillman did a springboard clothesline and beat him. Our main event was Sami Zayn taking on Tyson Kidd in, well, what must be a showcase match. Sami Zayn opened proceedings with a brainbuster before Tyson Kidd hit a sunset flip. The big moves continued and then went to the outside, where Tyson Kidd hit a pump handle gutbuster, then went to the top rope and hit a super missile dropkick. Back in the ring, and suplexes were hit, dropkicks were hit, and then a blockbuster was hit by Tyson Kidd. Sami Zayn tried to get the advantage with a big suplex into the corner. Unfortunately for Zayn though, Tyson Kidd was able to hit his spinning neckbreaker and take the win on the first 2K16 NXT. As always, we end the week on a Smackdown, and this took place at Seattle, Washington, with new graphics, and this feud continuing as Wade Barrett took on Mark Henry after beating him last week with help from the outside. Mark Henry decided he would do this to Wade Barrett himself this time and powerbombed him on the outside. Wade Barrett did hit a couple of moves back in the ring, but unfortunately for him, Mark Henry put his weight behind it and then hit a World's Strongest Slam to win the match. It's what he do. Now tag team action as the Usos banish the memories of 2K15 to take on the Job Squad of 2K16, Zack Ryder and Heath Slater. Two men who will gladly take a double super kick from the Usos just to be on the game. They did hit some moves just for a bit of practice, but then realised they're the Job Squad, so they quickly missed a move, ate another super kick, and then took the Uso splash for the Uso win. They then went Uso crazy in celebration. Due to the changing game, no more Cody Rhodes, it's Stardust now, and he took on Intercontinental Champion Dolph Ziggler, and started quite well. Despite eating a dropkick, he then hit a huge leg drop, and then went for the slam, Dolph Ziggler reversed this, pushed him away, and hit a famouser. He then hit a nice missile drop kick. Stardust still had some whereabouts though and hit the disaster kick before Dolph Ziggler reversed that and hit a zigzag. Boom! Win for the Intercontinental Champion. We had one more debut for you this week as Kofi Kingston took on Edge. He's back! But Kofi Kingston was a bit distracted as the Big Show returned the favour from last week and came out to sit on commentary during his match. No one man had specific control at the start of the match, with both men hitting a decent amount of moves. Kofi then got a bit of advantage with that neckbreaker, and then hit an elbow drop before they went to the outside, and Edge, just dumped him in front of Big Show. He then had a standoff, just like they did last week, before he must have said something bad to Kofi, who then ran in and got himself disqualified. Smackdown's main event and the final match of the week pitted Cesaro against Big E in a rematch from last week, and Big E seemed to be a bit pissed off this week, kneeing the shit out of him. Cesaro did get the advantage back though, with this nice butterfly suplex, then hitting a huge European uppercut. A suplex later and Big E decided, nope, I'm having the advantage now. A superplex was then hit before Cesaro hit some weird move like that. Big E then hit a big ending and won the match, and that was that. No cutscene. A few questions from the week. When will Daniel Bryan win his first match as WWE Champion? Will The Undertaker be winning main event's world title? Can these two light up the pay-per-view for the European title? Does Kofi Kingston still think he's got a chance of winning the world title? And where the hell was all the fucking cutscenes? Find out all this and more on What Happened on My Universe Mode 2K16. Like and subscribe.